Hi, my name is Sami Suhonen and I work as the head of physics department at Tampere University of Applied Sciences in Finland. And this is a shortened version of my presentation I gave in SEFi conference 2019 in Budapest. The topic is using Moodle data for early warning of dropping out. Few words about the background first. In Finland, universities have entrance examination, and basically we would like everybody who enters a university to graduate. But unfortunately that is not the case, but we have an issue of dropping out. Dropping out is of course a problem for the student him or herself, but it also affects the institution. In Finland, the financing of universities is partly or largely based on the number of graduates. So basically what we would like to do is to support those students who are in danger of dropping out in time and help them to continue their studies. This graph shows the percentage of the students who have graduated either from their original field, blue line, or some other field, red line. And if we take, for example, the 5-year point, we can see that approximately 40% of students have graduated from their original field and 47% have graduated from original or some other field of studies. When we continue further, the percentage never goes to 100, so we definitely have an issue of dropping out. And the question is how to find the right students at the right time. Well, still a few words as background. If you think about the vital signs of a human being, and when the vital signs go down, when there is no breathing, no pulse, what do we need to do? Well, we need to start resuscitation as soon as possible. If we continue the educational setup, and if we see the vital signs of studying go down, what do we do or what happens? Well, basically nothing happens. Individual teachers might notice the situation, but they don't have the whole picture. And as a result, the head of degree program might be unaware of the situation for months. Based on our previous study, we know that the number of log events in Moodle or other learning management system has a correlation with the success in studies. So this gave us the idea that studying activity probably drops down much earlier than the student takes any action or decides to stop studying and leave university. And because Moodle is used in all studying, the drop of activity can be seen in Moodle. In this study, 3 engineering degree programs are included, and this presentation shows data of 2 of them, ICT engineering and laboratory engineering. And we follow the student activity on many simultaneous courses throughout the academic year. And the purpose is to find out if the dropping out could have been forecasted using Moodle data. So this study was done afterwards, and we simulated a kind of an alarm system with the Moodle data. And because this was done afterwards, we knew who of the students had actually dropped out. 3 courses from autumn and 3 courses from spring were chosen, mostly mathematics and physics, which are kind of a compulsory for everyone. And from those courses, we collected the number of log events in the Moodle log file for each student, then summed over the 3 courses, and finally took a 3-point sliding average. Students might take some weeks off of their own, and we didn't want to raise false alarms due to that. And weeks 34 to 49 are included in autumn, and 2 to 17 in spring. And if this sliding average goes down to 0, the system or the simulation gives an alarm. And the results are here. Laboratory engineering group had 37 students, of which 27 studied normally, and the dropping out warning was raised for 10 students. And when those 10 were then investigated further, 7 of them had actually dropped out. 1 didn't study and 2 were false alarms. But this simulation found all of those who had dropped out, and in that sense the coverage was 100%. In ICT engineering we knew that there was even a bigger problem of dropping out, and it's visible in the data. Warning were raised for 22 students, of which 10 had actually dropped out. 1 didn't study, 5 were transfer students, which means that they didn't have those courses we had as labels. And then 5 had some other reason, and 1 was a false alarm. Again, coverage was 100%. And those 5 who are marked here as other reason actually showed a very slow progress in their studies. In this graph, the nominal sum of credit units is shown as the dotted line, and the blue lines represent the students. And it's clearly visible that those 5 didn't proceed as fast as they should on their studies. So in that way, basically even that was not a false alarm. This graph shows the time difference between the dropout warning date, which is based on Moodle data simulation, and the time of actual action, which can be decision to drop out or neglecting the enrollment for academic year, and therefore the students might have been forced to drop out. The time difference is actually quite large. Here are all those 17 students who were actually dropped out, and the average is 13 months. In Moodle log data, the dropping out was visible 13 months before it was visible otherwise. So, let's conclude. Decrease in activity can be seen in Moodle data, and in this study it was based on number of log events, but instead of that we could have used logins as well. The decrease in activity in Moodle was seen 13 months before the actual dropout on average. We had interviews with those who had dropped out, and the reasons were, well, life situation, learning or studying difficulties, wrong field of studies, and health problems. And 70% of those who we interviewed would have been interested to continue their engineering studies if they had had support and help when they needed it. So this underlines the need to find those students who are at risk of dropping out as soon as possible. And of course then appropriate interventions and support actions are needed, but that is not the scope of this study. Thank you, and please don't hesitate to contact me if you are interested in this.